Hope everyone is enjoying your holiday weekend and maybe without too much rain or bad weather today in most of the country anyway, and hopefully without any earthquakes if you're out in California and Vegas and that area, because that's been scary lately. So tonight we are opening one thing, and it is a half case of Stadium Club. We opened the first half of this a couple of nights ago. We're going to finish up the case here tonight, and that's it. That's all we're working on tonight. It'll take us a while though, so we'll still have plenty to keep us busy. As always, before we get started ripping, there are a few things to go over. So the first thing you see there is just about feedback. You know what? I get asked that a lot, so that's one reason it's incorporated here, and it's just real easy. Mine is automated on eBay. So anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you're going to instantly get positive feedback in return. And of course, the second thing there is just simply to say thank you. I do appreciate you being here, spending part of your Saturday evening with me. Bending and breaking and chatting and watching me hit the wrong button and take us to like black screens momentarily. I know, right? It would seem like it was my first time doing this, wouldn't it? We are looking now at what's coming up in the days ahead. So these are things that are already listed on eBay that we're going to be breaking over the course of the next 5 nights. So tomorrow night, Sunday night, is actually an off night. We won't be doing any breaks tomorrow evening. But on Monday, we're going to have 2 new releases. Isn't that weird, right? Releases on a Monday. And 2 from the same company for the same product line. So strange. But that's what's happening. Leaf is releasing Valiant Football. That's the one that has, in addition to the regular autographs, a graded card in each box, graded 9.5 or higher. And then Leaf Ultimate Football, which is their shortest print run of any of their football products this year. So we'll open a full case of each of those on Monday night, and amazingly enough for Leaf, hey, they're already here. Usually we're hoping they're going to get there on release day. They came today, so we'll be good to go Monday night. On Tuesday, it'll be a half case of TriStar autographed mini football helmets and a 12-box case of Chronicles basketball, which is the last of the Chronicles basketball that I have on hand. On Wednesday, we've got a boatload of new releases hitting on Wednesday as well. So we'll open a 20-box case of Topps Archive Signature Series Active Player Edition. That's a mouthful. One single box of Topps Diamond Icons Baseball. That's a super high-end product. I imagine most of you are familiar with it. And then we're going to open a half case of Gold Standard Football. All 3 of those are new releases for Wednesday. We'll dig into all of them Wednesday night. On Thursday night, we're going to open Elite Football. And I believe, guys, that's the last case of Elite that I have, I think. I'll have to kind of dig around and make sure, but I think that it is. So that might be your last chance to jump into 2019 Elite, at least for me, anyway. One break tonight, as I said at the top, it is Stadium Club Baseball. It is an 8-box half case break. It's the back half of a case we started a couple of nights ago. I'm anticipating this will ship out and be on the way to you approximately Wednesday. As always, if I can get something out to you faster than the date you see listed, I will gladly do that. And of course, we don't need to worry about consolation cards because every team's going to pull cards in this break. So once again, 8-box half case break of 2019 Stadium Club, can I speak? No, apparently not. Stadium Club Baseball half case break number 4. There we go. Whoo. And of course, it ended tonight on eBay, Saturday night, the 6th of July. We're opening it the same night it ended. You'll notice that one team got no bids. That's the Diamondbacks. It is designated on the spreadsheet there as no bids buyback, meaning that any Diamondbacks things that come out will just stay here with me since they did not find a forever home. And for everyone else, you saw your name, or rather your eBay username, across from your team there on the spreadsheet. One last little piece of business here before we get rocking, and that is to change up the focus. And it does make the background go out of focus a little bit, but don't sweat that. We're going to be able to see everything nice and close that way, and we don't have any of that pesky zooming in and out, which makes me crazy. Probably makes you crazy, makes us all crazy. So yeah, we're going to avoid all that. Excuse me. Allergy season seems like it is year-round for me in the state of Kentucky. I do not know. There's always something blooming. Or there's always, trees, grasses, something. I don't know. Gets me year-round, it seems. All right. So Stadium Club. First off, we have box loaders this year. So that's kind of cool. And sometimes they're autographed. And we know this because, we pulled one that was autographed out of one of our earlier cases. So occasionally we get lucky and one of these will be autographed. Otherwise, they're kind of cool, whether they're autographed or not. In addition to our box loader, we're looking for 2 on-card autographs per box. And we'll find some parallels and other things, which I'll point out to you when we get rolling here in a minute. Hi, Kirk. How are you tonight? Rhys Hoskins and the Philadelphia Phillies is box loader number 1 tonight. So most of the variations in here are not numbered. There are a few that are numbered, but I would say that the vast majority of them are not. And here's how you can tell if it's a variation. You see how the person's name is written in silver there? Those also come written in red and in black and in orange, and if we're super lucky, in gold. So gold is usually the hardest to find. Orange comes in behind that. Then black. Red is the easiest one to find, and silver, of course, is the base. And as I said, every once in a while we'll find one that's numbered as well. I'll point those out as we go along. Loads of inserts in here. When we go through the first box, it's kind of going to be the same way. We'll go a little slower through box number 1, and I'll try to point out each of the insert types as we come across them. Then as we open our subsequent boxes, we'll kind of just keep on keeping on. We'll move through things a bit faster. I'm trying to, keep from clearing my throat constantly, so I'm hoping drinking that water is going to make you not have to listen to me clear my throat, but we'll see. So Power Zone insert, that was just a base version of it, but there are plenty of them that we will find throughout. Emperors of the Zone, ditto. As long as the writing is in silver, it's the base version. Same thing here. And of course, you're looking at the color of the player name. I know there's some red in behind the words Warp Speed, which is the name of the insert set, but that's not a parallel. The player's name would have to be written in a different color. Kirk, you need some Yankees and some Twins. You mean in here, or you need the Yankees and the Twins to be better, like on the field? I'm not sure what you're saying. The Yankees, did they lose tonight? I can't, I don't know if the Yankees lost tonight or not. I want to say maybe they did. Oh yeah, I think they did. The Rays won in a with a walk-off homer, I want to say. After Aaron Hicks, like maybe, yeah, I think that was today. Aaron Hicks tied it up, and then at the top of the ninth, and then the Rays hit a homer, and there you go. Yankees lost anyway. So there's a Stadium Club Chrome variation. We tend to find usually one of these per box, but the other thing, it's the orange variation. So even better, right? Means it's numbered on the back to 99. Now, not all of our orange is numbered. Like our base cards with an orange variation are not going to be numbered, but some of our other orange variations like that are. So there's an example of one of the red ones. It looks kind of black, doesn't it? If I get it at that angle, it looks more red. If you see it straight on, it looks black. But it is actually red. Those are just the base red, and they are, again, not numbered in here. You did mean in here? Okay, yeah, so you need your Yankees and Twins to be better in the break. I wasn't sure what you meant. Jake Bowers, that's red. And Charles said, yes, indeed, the Yankees did lose. Yeah, I kind of thought that was today's game. I don't know. I was flipping around today, catching some highlights of various things. Watched a little bit of the Reds game. Ryan Borucki, that is for the Toronto Blue Jays. And that is our first autograph out. Of course, my Reds just fell apart there towards the end. I didn't even, I started doing other things. Beam Team, that is the base version of it. Once again, when the player's name is written in a different color, it would be a parallel. That is a red Dennis Eckersley for the A's. There's a red Jake Lamb, Diamondbacks. And there's a black Acuna for the Braves. First one we've seen with a black parallel, I think, out of this box. A red Stanton for the Yankees, which is pretty funny because it's got, like the Marlins logo there in the background. Is that not weird, kind of? I mean, it is. Like, why didn't they get rid of that? I don't know, because it's Yankees, and they even say Yankees on the card. He's in a Yankees hat, the whole deal, and they show him with a Marlins logo in the background. So, go figure. You said I passed an autograph. Okay, I did not think so, but maybe we did. Benintendi Chrome variation. So let's just go back through here and look, because we would have, if we didn't find it by the end of the box, we would have had to go back through here anyway. So this is what we've already looked at. So we'll just buzz right back through here, and you are certainly correct. There it is. And I would have had to do that anyway, because I missed it going through the first time. We would have had to been searching for it. And it is for the Twins. So there's our second autograph out of this box. And thank you, Kirk, for catching that for me, because then we would have ended up looking through the entire stack of cards to find it. That way we only had to look at the most recent. I don't know how I didn't see that. Power Zone Ohtani for the Angels. That is a red Kenley Jansen, Dodgers. And what else? There's a black Kiki Hernandez for the Dodgers. Oh, yeah, Charles, you caught it too. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, you guys, thank you. I appreciate that. That's usually why I like to leave whatever we're working on sitting over there for a minute, because every once in a while, Emperors of the Zone, something will slide by that I don't catch that you guys do. It's usually not an autograph. Jock Peterson for the Dodgers, but sometimes a parallel or something will fly by, and it's so much easier if we've only got to look through a little stack of cards to find it instead of a big one. But on Stadium Club, sometimes they kind of blend in. Like, that one doesn't really stand out to me, I guess just because of where it's signed on the card, and I didn't even, obviously, catch it the first time through. Ay. The good news is, though, all the cards ship, so we would have, and of course, we would have gone back and looked for it anyway when we got to the end, and I was like, hey, where's our other autograph? We would have gone back through them anyway, but you definitely saved me some time, so I appreciate both of you on that one, Kirk and Charles. Oh, man, some of these, they're like suctioned in there. Hey, it's Joey Votto for my Cincinnati Reds. My poor, poor Reds. I swear to you, the only person that's hitting is Puig. He started out the year not hitting very well. He's heated up, doing quite well now. And then in the meantime, Derek Dietrich, who had been just on fire, has been cold as ice for about a month now. So if we could get them both going in the right direction at the right time, that would be helpful. But, yeah. I don't know. I think we're in, like, the world's longest rebuild for the Reds. Speaking of rebuilding, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both there for a minute. I'm thinking, you're thinking, CP3. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers. How about that? course, then the Clippers shipped off as part of that trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another young player, I can't think which, and more than one first-round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder to get Paul George. I don't know what, of course, Kawhi Leonard, I think, was just a free agent, so there's no real trading that had to happen there. And then DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie Cousins, has teamed up with Anthony Davis once again and LeBron James. He's going to play for the Lakers. Clemente Red Pirates. So that's kind of interesting. And he only got a one-year deal again and at a really low price. Cueto for the Giants Red. Oh, now that's a nice hit, guys and gals. This young man has been on fire. En fuego. Pete Alonso for the New York Mets. You definitely have some imperfect, edges and corners all around. We can see little bits of white there on the back, but that's, the case with most really of these stadium clubs, but it's picky little imperfections, not major ones. So really nice hit there for the Mets with Pete Alonso. And there's a red Orlando Arcia for the Brewers. And a red Christy Mathewson. Now, I should point this out because it says New York Giants. Now, guys and gals, cards always stay with their franchise, okay? So, the New York Giants of old are the San Francisco Giants of today. So anything that says New York Giants goes to the San Francisco Giants. They're not the forerunner of the Mets. They are the forerunner of the San Francisco Giants. Second autograph out right away. Once again, particularly lower left, I notice on that. But once again, some imperfect edges and corners on the back. And it is the red variation, Kyle Wright for the Braves. So both of our autographs are out of this box. I always think Manny Machado card's an insert when I see it. The photograph on it always makes me stop and think it's an insert for a minute. But yeah, so Boogie Cousins only got I think it was $2.3 million on a one-year deal, which, you've got players that are nowhere near his caliber getting even short-term 2-year deals for $20 and $30 million. I'm really surprised that no one wants to take a gamble on him. I know he injured his Achilles. He came back and hardly was back at all before he tore the muscle in that quad and then was out again. Arenado for the Rockies managed to make it back for a few limited minutes before the playoffs were over, but I'm just really surprised that happened. Duke Snider, red for the Dodgers. But it's going to be kind of cool because Rondo is signing back with the Lakers again, too, on another, I think, one-year deal. Of course, he was there last year as well. So we're going to have Rondo and Anthony Davis and Boogie all on the Lakers, all from my University of Kentucky. So Corey Seager, Dodgers, red. So I guess I'm going to have to watch a little more Lakers basketball next year. Todd Frazier and the Mets, red. Here's our chrome. It is Andujar for the Yankees. So yeah, NBA free agency is always really interesting to me. They make a lot of, there's not a lot of moves to be made, but it seems like the moves that are made are always really kind of big ones. There's always some big news that comes out of there. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers, that kind of instantly makes them a contender, regardless of who else is on the roster. But although Montrezl Harrell is on there, and I don't remember, they've done so many moving around of pieces parts, but they've still got a decent group of guys around them. But it's going to be the show for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, that's for sure. And we have a little Charlie Blackmon for the Rockies making an appearance in our box loader out of that one. Of course, we're almost to All-Star weekend for baseball coming up around the corner. And they've got something new this year. So, of course, you guys know the Home Run Derby. A lot of the players kind of hadn't been wanting to participate as much the last few years. There's that kind of mythology around it that, oh, it'll mess up your swing and these various kind of things. So some of the players have shied away from participating. So they upped the ante a little bit, and they're giving them, I think it's $1 million prize. So yeah, as you might expect, there's a little more interest now than there had been. There's a Beam Team Ichiro insert. And they also have a new consumer contest, which is kind of interesting. Moncada red for the White Sox. And that is, you can go in, it's on MLB.com, I believe. They have a home run derby bracket. So you just have to pick who wins each of the matchups correctly. And correctly pick the winner of the home run derby. And then there are, I think you also get points for, like, if you can predict how far the longest ball was hit. Ryan O'Hearn for the Kansas City Royals. Little tiny autograph, but there it is. And you also get points, I think, or maybe that's the tiebreaker, if you guess like how many total home runs the winner hits or something like that. Steven Strasburg black. And if you get it right, like have a perfect bracket, that's red Tanaka for the Yankees, you can win $250,000. So should be a little easier bracket than the Sweet 16 or than the NCAA tournament brackets, where I am always knocked out well before we get to the Sweet 16. This one we're starting out with fewer players, so I have to do better than that. Walker Buehler red for the Yankees. But you know, if you haven't checked it out, might as well go put in a bracket, right? I mean, it's free to play, and you might win $250,000. Gives you a little rooting interest as well when you're watching the Home Run Derby. Of course, the futures game is always fun too. You guys know I like prospecting. I like watching the guys who are coming up through the system. So futures game is always entertaining, and you kind of get a feel for whose cards you better get a jump on. Yuli Gurriel Astros red. And that autograph I would have almost missed too, man. That's kind of a weird spot as well. That is Francisco Arcia, and that is for the Angels, and it is numbered to 25. So how about that? He signed in a very interesting place in relation to the picture. But anyway, numbered to 25, the Angels. You're happy, right? I would think, if you've got the Angels. Ryan Sandberg black Cubbies. That is a red Contreras Cubbies. Was that a red? Yes, it was. Let's go back and grab that. Mitch Haniger, red for the Mariners. I was anxious to get to the chrome, wasn't I? Got ahead of myself. This is a Gleyber Torres base chrome for the Yankees. So I don't know if any of you use the Topps Bunt app with digital baseball cards. It's like collecting them digitally and that sort of thing. You know, I've been on that app for several years, and mainly I just like to get the cards to play the contests. I enjoy to play the contests that they have. But I tell you what, I don't know what happened to me, but like I went down the rabbit hole in the last couple of weeks here. You know, they give you these coins and things for logging in and whatever, and you can use them to buy packs and get inserts and different, you know, stuff. Chipper Jones for the Braves. And we definitely have some bad edges and corners on that box loader as well. You can see several places of white all along edges and corners on the back for Chipper. And I always said, you know, I'm never going to spend money in this app. I like getting the stuff you can get for the coins that they let you log in with, and, you know, the cards you can win in the contests and stuff like that. And I don't really know what happened. They had a set, and I was like, oh, I really like that set, but I don't want to, you know, spend all this money to go buy all these coins and open these digital packs and maybe not get what I want and blah, blah, blah. So I decided, oh, maybe I should go look and see if they have them on eBay. Oh, man alive. Yeah, they have them on eBay. There's a zillion people listing these digital cards for this Bunt app. And I just like went crazy. So I'm thinking, oh, look at all this scoring, you know. There's all these cards that score so much better than the cards I have. It should make it easier to win my contest. And the next thing you know, I look up and I have spent some stupid amount of money buying digital baseball cards. So, I mean, I effectively just spent money to buy pictures of baseball cards. I know, right? But I don't know. I went down that rabbit hole, and there you go. I do kind of like having them, though. And being that I get bitten by the collecting bug, I've got to make sure I don't go any further down the rabbit hole on that thing. Ryan Braun red for the Brewers. So I don't know if any of you use that app or not, but it can definitely be addictive, especially when you get on there and start trading with people. And it's like, oh, then that becomes a whole thing. Valdez, our first autograph out of this box, is for the Houston Astros. But you know, I did hold out for, what's it been, like 3 years or so before I ever spent money to buy one. Robin Yount for the Brewers. Red Eugenio Suarez for my Cincinnati Reds. There is our chrome right on top. It's Buster Posey for the Giants. So if any of you do use the Bunt app, or I think, you know, Topps Huddle, there's a football app, I think. I haven't been on it. I don't have it. I think Panini has maybe a football and maybe a basketball app as well. Charlie Blackmon red for the Rockies. And that is hard to see, but that is black down there, a black variation of Aaron Judge. It's numbered to 99 for the Yankees. But so anyway, for those of you who might be so inclined to want to collect some of that sort of thing, well, yeah, you can get it right on eBay. Sometimes a whole bunch of cards for not very much money, which is probably how I started down the rabbit hole. It's like, oh, look, I can get like 30 digital cards for $3. And then the next thing you know, you're paying like $3 for one card because it scores well. And then I'm going, oh no, this is not good. I have to stop. Xander Bogaerts red variation for the Red Sox, who I think are playing right now. Rafael Devers, Red Sox red, and an autograph for Freddie Peralta. And Freddie for the Brewers, same as our others, has some imperfect kind of edges and corners, not extraordinarily bad, but not minty perfect either. So Nobody's chiming in, so I guess none of you have ever played on that Bunt app before, I suppose. I'm the only sucker. But you know, it can still be fun, even if you don't spend money. Cole Hamels, that is the black variation for the Cubs. But it was just getting to the point where I couldn't get where I wanted to get. Derek Jeter red. You know, I'd like get close to where I needed to be in those contests, but I'd always be just a little bit short. So I figure, a little scoring boost, we'll see what happens. And that is Dale Murphy for the Braves, a red variation. We did find both of our autographs in there. Yes, Valdez and then Peralta. Okay. Making sure I didn't have any mishaps there. So we are at our halfway point right now. We have opened 4, and we have 4 remaining in our 8-box half case tonight. It's making reasonably good progress, I suppose, all things considered. This might be our first firework-free night since about the 1st of July. Haven't heard any yet tonight, so I'm thinking maybe the neighbors are done this year. Normally, I would have expected them to go again tonight and not be done until tomorrow night, but maybe we're getting a reprieve, and last night was it. Roberto Clemente, our box topper for the Pittsburgh Pirates. All 4 corners are imperfect, particularly, though, lower right and upper left. Have some little bit of white chipping and things happening up there. As far as Stadium Club goes, I think I have another half case that is just the way it was sent to me. I got a case and a half from one of my distributors. So I think that's all the Stadium Club that's left is that half case. But I'll have to double check that. And we'll probably try to break through that sometime. Probably about this time next week or in this general vicinity. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, somewhere in there. So I should say the next 7 to 10 days. We'll probably go ahead and break just whatever's left of Stadium Club. Kirk, you need an orange variation and you would like it to be Aaron Judge. All right, my friend. I will do my best to conjure that up for you. We'll call forth on the Card Mojo and see if we can get it to bring us both an orange variation and a nice Aaron Judge of some sort. Mel Ott, that once again, New York Giants are the San Francisco Giants. A Joey Votto red for my Cincinnati Reds. And we have ourselves an autograph. It is Jose Brasino for the Angels. Same story, guys. Corners imperfect, particularly upper left. That one definitely you can see is not good. Actually, none of the 4 corners on the back of that look great, but the upper left was particularly banged up there. And here's a red Matthew Boyd for the Tigers. And our second autograph making an appearance pretty close there behind our first one. This is Edgar Martinez. How about that for the Mariners? That's something. It's nice when we get some that aren't rookies in here to balance things out. Edgar Martinez and the Mariners. Cool little hit. Our chrome is Andrew McCutchen for the Phillies. It is a refractor. Not all the chromes do refract, but this one does. At least I don't think all of them do. Maybe they do. Do they? I don't think so. Well, maybe. No. No, they don't. All right. I didn't think they did, but then I was like, I don't know. I guess I don't pay as much attention to the base chrome. K-Line Tigers black variation. Rivera New York Yankees red variation. Black and white. These are not numbered, but we don't find a whole lot of them. So, maybe one or two per half case if we're lucky. So, nice little hit for the Reds there with the black and white variation for Barry Larkin. And there's our chrome. Corey Seager and the Dodgers. I don't know if any of you happened to be watching the Dodgers game last night when that earthquake hit, but that was crazy. I did have the game on, and I look up, and I mean, it was rocking. The camera was rocking. And the announcer, I mean, just like so calm. Oh, yes, the camera, you notice the camera moving. It's because we're having an earthquake here. Harmon Killebrew and the Twins, red variation. And they never even paused. Like the pitcher was on the mound. He didn't wait a second for the earth to stop shaking or anything. He just went right ahead with his windup and his pitch. I mean, game went right on as if nothing had happened. Ernie Banks, red for the Cubs. And it turned out to be, they said, later in the broadcast, it was a 7.1 earthquake. And it was, the center of it was about 120 miles from the stadium or something like that. But it shook for a pretty good amount of time. I mean, comparatively speaking. I think if you're there in the middle of it, probably 10 seconds seems like an eternity. But so I have lots of friends who live in California. I lived out there myself for a while. So I immediately pick up the phone and call one of them, and she's like, she answers the phone, and I'm like, you're having an earthquake. And of course, she gets rather perturbed by that because, of course, she knows she's having an earthquake because she's there feeling the earthquake. But I don't know. I don't know why. That's what I said, but that's what I said. So, but, it was crazy watching it on camera. Ichiro and the Mariners. And the announcers, there was just virtually no disruption. It was almost as if it hadn't happened, other than they mentioned it, and you could clearly, it wasn't a little bit of camera shaking. It was a lot of camera shaking. And then the guys are like, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to be in the upper deck of Dodger Stadium if we have a bigger earthquake or whatever they said. And that was it. And even the fans, no fans seemed to leave or panic or worry. 7.1, that kind of gets, the earth moving a little bit under you. But anyway, the second one they've had there in the last week, the first one was a 4.6 or... Was it 4.6 or 6.4? I don't know. Anyway, the other one was not a stronger one that they had a few days ago. But in both cases, kind of out in more of a sparsely populated desert kind of area. So I don't think really much damage to property as a whole, and not any kind of loss of life that I'm aware of anyway. Just lots of cleanup and, cracks in the road. And one guy who has a liquor store, they interviewed him, and he said that he lost $100,000 worth of product that just in that brief period of time, shook off the shelves and fell onto the ground and broke. Some of it, $200 and $300 bottles of wine and such. Piscotti, and that is the black variation for the A's. And the guy didn't have insurance. That is red Ryu for the Dodgers. And our chrome is Tukey for the Atlanta Braves. And I gotta say, I don't know how you're a business owner in Southern California with no earthquake insurance. That just seems like a really bad idea. I mean, it's expensive for sure, but so is losing $100,000 worth of inventory. Aaron Judge, red variation for the Yankees. So anyway, we got a little extra excitement watching the game last night. McGriff, Braves, red. A Joey Votto, red variation for the Cincinnati Reds. Red for the Reds. There's a red Greinke for the Diamondbacks. And we're coming upon a signature here that looks like it's going to be the Phillies. Cesar Hernandez. And Cesar has, once again, kind of imperfect edges and corners there on the back side. Most of these Stadium Club cards, frankly, have those same kind of base, and otherwise they mostly have those kind of imperfect back edges and corners. Matt Carpenter, Cardinals, black. For whatever reason, that seems to be how they're coming out this year. Peralta, D-backs, red. Taylor Ward is our second autograph out of this box. Has another one for the Angels. So the Angels are kind of quietly racking them up tonight. And speaking of quiet, not anymore. There go the neighbors and the fireworks. I told you I thought it was too early. I didn't think they'd give up yet. Probably tonight will be the last night. Mark McGwire, that is red for the Cardinals. And another black and white. It's going to be Castellanos for the Tigers. And there's Nicholas. Nice photo variation on that one too, or image on that one. All right, we are 6 completed, 2 remaining. Nolan Ryan. Our box loader for Nolan Ryan and the Astros. Same as, guys, some minor stuff on edges and corners. Can't believe how quiet everybody is tonight. Chat was really quiet last night too. I think everybody must be worn out from the heat and the holiday. All the activity and the heat combined, maybe. So it's been very quiet in chat for 2 nights now. It's kind of eerie. Cool, Tony Gwynn. There's a red Bob Gibson for the Cardinals. And right away we see an autographed Jeffrey Springs for the Texas Rangers. Once again, corners and edges. I particularly noticed the bottom right, lower right on that one. Steven Duggar, Giants, black variation. There's a black and white Puig for my Cincinnati Reds. Yasiel hit another home run tonight. He's trying to help my Reds win, but man, nobody else is giving him any help. That is Javi Baez. It's the red variation for the Cubs on Warp Speed insert. Even Nick Senzel, he just hasn't really been having good at-bats lately. David Dahl, Rockies, red. And this guy, you know I can't say this guy's name, right? Most of you know I can't say his name. Foltynewicz or something like that, but that's not right. Anyway, he's for the Braves. Bad corners once again, both lower left and right. Pretty notably imperfect. He got busted back down to the minors a week or 10 days ago. As far as I know, they haven't brought him back up yet. And a Bryce Harper chrome for the Phillies. Looks like maybe taken at his press conference or something like that. That image. Carlos Correa, red, Astros. Of course, that is the cool thing about Stadium Club, is that we get all these unique images that you don't see in other card sets very much, if ever. Juan Soto, red for the Nationals. Another chrome. This one is Don Mattingly for the Yankees. Well, now he tried to jump line there. That's Beltre for the Rangers, who tried to jump ahead of everybody else. Blake Snell, red for the Tampa Bay Rays. So red Piazza for the Mets. And we are headed into our last box. That's right. That means it is last box mojo time. So here we kind of collectively work our mojo. We pool our energy, if you will. Try to focus on pulling a big hit out of here. Or big hits, plural, out of our last box of this particular break. And of this particular case, both. Kirk says it's Aaron Judge time. He feels like Aaron's going to come out for him out of this last box. All right, let's try and make it happen, Kirk. We have Rhys Hoskins. We saw Rhys earlier on a box loader. Here he is again. Once again, edges and corners, particularly right there. That may even be part of the... There's definitely some chipping. I don't know if that's... I guess it's not really the... I mean, yeah, there's a lot of chipping, edges and corners. So I don't know what accounts for that. I don't know how they managed to accomplish that so frequently in this Stadium Club, but they do. Most of the cards have some of that. Charles, you need some Mike Trout? All right, let's try and find you some Mike Trout. You've had I didn't realize you had the Angels tonight, so you've had some nice hits come out. But we would love to cap it off for you with a nice little Mike Trout. We pulled him to 5 within the last week, but where did that come out of, guys? It wasn't out of this, was it? No. What was it out of? What else did we even open? Maybe it was out of this. I can't really remember what it was out of, but we did pull a Mike Trout to 5 out of, it was out of Finest. Yeah. It was out of that case of Finest we did at the first of the week. A red Trout autograph to 5. It was sweet, too. Tim Anderson, White Sox, red, and Tanaka for the Yankees, black variation. There is a red Tony Gwynn for the Padres. Our hit sets in behind it, and I believe that is Nick Birdie. It is Nick Birdie for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Same story, edges and corners. Yeah, no doubt. Kirk says Topps needs to fire some of their quality control people. I know, but I've told you guys this before. One of the reps, and I don't remember if it was Topps or if it was Upper Deck or Panini, but one of the reps told the man who owned our local card store for over 20 years, that the average card straight out of the pack, if you graded it, that they would expect it to grade, like 7 or 8, something like that. Sean Reed Foley for the Blue Jays. I think he may have actually said 7, but it's been a while since he told me that story. It's been a few years now, so I don't, my failing memory, couldn't tell you verbatim, but it was 7 or 8. Alex Gordon red for the Kansas City Royals, and I kind of think it was 7. Justin Turner red for the Dodgers. So, they totally know that their cards come out of the pack nowhere near a 9 or a 10. But honestly, that's what makes 10s worth the money that they're worth. If every card came out of the pack as a 10, then we wouldn't really have, frankly, some of the high-value cards that we have. Here's a nice hit for the Indians. Really nice. Jake Bauers. I like this kid. He's been playing well. So Jake Bauers and Pete Alonso, both really nice rookie hits out of this half of the case. Yeah, Charles, you are right. It was out of Finest that Mike Trout came. It's a black Urias for the Padres. Salvador Perez for the Royals. Tatis, chrome variation, Padres. I wish that was signed. I like that kid a lot, too. A lot of this year's rookie class, I really am enjoying watching play. Of course, the one we thought was the most ready to come up and make like a huge immediate impact was Vlad Guerrero Jr., and he's been kind of surprisingly rather quiet. Hasn't been really burning it up. Jose Ramirez, Indians. Don't get me wrong, the kid is still an absolutely incredible player, and all these guys, they need time to adjust when they come up, and he's going to be fine. He'll be playing for years, and he's going to be great, and he'll be an all-star and everything else. I have all the faith in the world in him, but he started a little slower than I thought he was going to anyway. Gleyber Torres for the Yankees with a chrome variation. And let's see here if we got anything else in our last few cards to take a look at. We do. We have a red Kyle Schwarber for the Cubbies. All right, so we're going to recap this for anybody who might have jumped in midway through, or you just want to take another look at your cards, whatever the case may be. I'm going to recap those, and also I believe I set aside our low-numbered cards, And so we'll take a look at those again too. If by chance I did not get well, I shouldn't say low numbered, there aren't that many numbered cards in here, period. But if perchance I did not get all the numbered cards stacked out separately, don't worry. If you saw it go through earlier, you're getting it, all the cards ship. It would just mean that I might have stacked it in the wrong spot. So these aren't numbered, but again, they don't come out super often, so I usually do recap them. That's a black and white Yasiel Puig for my Cincinnati Reds, Castellanos for the Detroit Tigers, and the third one was Barry Larkin, also for the Cincinnati Reds. And we have a nice orange Stanton for the Yankees. It's the chrome variation. Marlins logo in the background. You got to ignore that because Yankees. Yankees. But anyway, that's how they made it. It is numbered to 99, chrome and a refractor. And then we have a Beam team here that was an Aaron Judge black to 99. And then our autographs coming along. Jake Bowers for the Cleveland Indians. Nick Birdie for the Pirates. Once again, please keep in mind all of these have some imperfect edges and corners, particularly on the back. There's chipping and all kinds of things. That's for the Atlanta Braves, Mike, whose last name I cannot pronounce. I can say Jeffrey Springs, though, and that is headed to the Texas Rangers. Taylor Ward is one of a few that'll be heading to the Angels tonight. Cesar Hernandez for the Phillies. The Mariners hit a nice Edgar Martinez. And Jose Brasenio, that is also the Angels. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. Framber Valdez for the Astros. Francisco Arcia, that one numbered to, 25. That's also for the Angels. Ryan O'Hearn and his tiny little signature for the Kansas City Royals. Kyle Wright, Atlanta Braves. Pete Alonso for the Mets. And Williams Astudillo. Well, okay, I blew that. It's, I'm going to blow at least a couple every night. That was for the Twins. And Ryan Borucki for the Toronto Blue Jays is the last one. So I will now put up the spreadsheet information one final time. For anybody who might have missed this earlier, we'll take a look at your anticipated shipping date and then what's coming up in the days ahead as well. So once again, I'm expecting to be able to get this on the way to you approximately Wednesday of this upcoming week. And if by chance I can get it done faster than that, I will happily do so. On the off chance that something extremely unexpected happens, it could always slide a day later. But right now, my best estimate is that it will be out the door and headed your way about Wednesday. So coming up in the days ahead, tomorrow night is an off night. On Monday night, we have 2 new releases, both from Leaf, both football. Odd, I know. Valiant Football and Ultimate Football. We will open a full case of each one on Monday night. On Tuesday, a half case of 2019 TriStar Autograph Mini Football helmets, and the last full case I have of Chronicles Basketball. On Wednesday, we'll open 3 new releases, a 20-box case of Topps Archive Signature Series Active Player Edition, a 1-box break of Diamond Icons Baseball, and a 6-box half case break of Gold Standard Football. Then on Thursday, we'll break a 12-box final case of Elite Football. So that, I guess, is it for me tonight. And of course, once again, I am off tomorrow night, so we will be back breaking again on Monday night. I hope I will see you again then, but if I don't see you then I will see you sometime soon. Stop by and say hey anytime. You don't have to be in the break to come and chat and hang out. So, all right, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday night. All right, bye now.